say it's what you make it, and that is so. We say just do your thing, make your own best show.
Well, good evening, Sumter School District boys and girls, and welcome to another edition of Reading with the Superintendent. And as we promise, every night we'll come to you with a different book and another special guest. And today, I have a special guest who I asked to join us, and she's here. So welcome, Mrs. Newton-Tabon. How are you?
Hello, I am fabulous.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
I'm glad to be here.
So many of our students may not know who you are, as well as our viewers. So why don't you introduce yourself so they'll know who's going to be reading to them tonight?
Well, as Dr. Martin-Knox said, I am Maria Newton-Tabon. Actually, I am somewhat homegrown here in Sumter County, Sumter, South Carolina. I am a product of the public school system here. I have worked as a teacher of special needs students, an assistant principal, a principal, and now at the district level. And I've done all of that in 30 plus years.
Wow, that's a lot of work and a lot of growth, and all for the benefit of our children. So I appreciate you for all that you do. And again, thank you for joining us tonight. So this evening, we're going to read the book, This is the Way We Go to School, about children around the world. So I'm excited to read this book because I think diversity and understanding is very important. What do you think, Mrs. Newton-Tabon?
I think it is because you know what? Every child is not ride the bus to school. So I think it's going to be interesting for us to find out how people go to school.
I think it's important too. So before we begin to read, I like to make sure that I have everyone's attention. And I usually do a call and response activity where I count and I say something like 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. And our viewers say
1, 2, all eyes on you.
Let's go ahead and begin to read the book. This is the Way We Go to School, a book about children around the world. You ready, Mrs. Newton-Tabon?
I am ready.
Would you like to give a special shout out to anybody or little people who may be watching?
I have some very special little people in my life, and I want to say good evening to my grandson, Ace Sanders. He's the oldest one, and I have another grandson. His name is Cross Sanders. So good evening, and I hope that you will enjoy Uma's story.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, are you ready, Mrs. Newton-Tabon?
I am ready.
1 by 1 or 2 by 2, come along. It's fun to do.
Ellen takes it nice and slow. Time to watch the flowers grow.
I don't know if I can walk through those flowers.
Why not? They're beautiful.
Because I have allergies. Liz and Larry, as a rule, wear their jogging shoes to school. But every 20 minutes passes, roller skates are twice as fast. Mrs. Newton-Tabon, can you roller skate?
Can I or do used to?
Yeah, did you used to? Can you? I still can. I like to rollerblade.
Oh, wow.
Fancy.
Wow, that's pretty fast too. And the fastest way by far is by school bus or by car.
Did you ride the school bus when you went to school, or did you go by car?
So when I lived in Massachusetts, we walked to school. When we moved here, I rode the bus to school, or sometimes my parents took me to school.
I used to walk to school, and then I think the first time I rode a school bus was when we had field trips, but more when I became a teacher, and then I used to ride the school bus as a principal. That's another story.
Yeah, that's a whole new ride.
That's a whole new story.
Jenny, Jerry, Pete, and Perry ride the Staten Island Ferry.
Have you ever been on the Staten Island Ferry?
I was just thinking, that's something I would love to do.
Maybe we need to make a trip of it.
In 2020.
Later on down the
We'll plan
line.
it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cable cars take Jack and Jill up the hill and down the hill. I've ridden cable cars before. Have you?
I can't say that I
I've ridden cable cars before.
Well, Michael and his friend Miguel see the rooftops from the L. Horse and buggy rides. It's plain. Start the day for Jake and Jane.
Now, I will say I've never, ever ridden a horse and buggy.
Really? Now, have you ridden a horse?
No, ma'am.
I have. And actually, I had a horse at my granddaddy's house.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it for one Christmas, and it was like a couple of days later, my granddaddy sold it.
I like horse riding boots. Does that count?
That does. I do too.
And in Philly, Mitch and Molly go to school by trackless trolley. Bianca and Beppo Benedetto ride the Vaporetto. Oh, wow.
Sounds like some rhyming words in there.
It does.
Bundle up against the breeze. Nels and Solvege go on skis. Now, I have never tried that.
Me either. No, that's not even on my wish list. Palm trees help keep Ahmed cool on his sunny walk to school. Myra takes time out to play. School's a hop, skip, and away. I love palm trees. I think they're so beautiful.
And watch Sep and Heidi sail through the air from peak to veil. Kenya leaves for school by train far across the mountain chain. Now, you lived in Baltimore, probably not as a child, did you? As a
I
child?
did.
So
I
did
did.
you have to ride the Metro subway? What did they call it?
There's actually a couple of things there. There's mass transit where there's the buses, and then there's a subway that's there as well. And then there's something called the light rail. So there are multiple modes of transportation there. Mhm. Kay and Faye and Flo and Joe go to school by radio. Bicycles bring me and Ling through traffic of Nanjing.
What is that radio remind you of?
A CB or the radios they used to use in school to call into the classrooms? Is that what you were referring to?
Well, and also, let's bring it a little closer. We're doing virtual learning now, so those radios back then probably is related to what we're doing these days.
Absolutely, I would agree.
And beneath the dripping sky, Ram is riding high and dry. William comes ashore by boat, counting seagulls while afloat.
Have you ever seen seagulls on the beach?
I've seen seagulls on the beach. I have. It's pretty cool too.
Carlos takes the town in stride. Luz prepares to countryside.
The countryside is probably quiet.
It probably is. It reminds me of some of the places here in South Carolina.
And the famous, speaking of Metro, and the famous Metro line suits Igor and Ayana fine. It just reminds me of waiting for the Metro in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh-oh. Go by copter, by skidoo. Somewhere, sometimes, some kids do.
You come too. We'll look for you.
So in some of the reading that we had, we identified some students. So Ellen lives in Hawaii. Liz and Larry and the skaters live in California. The bus and car riders live in Raytown, Missouri. Jenny, Jerry, Pete, and Perry live in Staten Island, New York. Jack and Jill live in San Francisco, California. Michael and Miguel live in Chicago, Illinois. Jake and Jane live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Mitch and Molly live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bianca, Bippo, and Benedetto live in Venice, Italy. Niles and Slovely live in Norway. Ahmed lives in Egypt. Myra lives in Israel. Seth and Heidi live in Switzerland. Akinyi lives in Kenya. Kay, Faye, Flo, and Joe live in Australia. Me and Ling live in China. Ram lives in India. William lives in Maine. Carlos and Luis lives in Mexico. Igor and Ayana live in Moscow. The copter passengers live in Siberia. And finally, the Skidoo passengers live in Canada. Wow. We've traveled around the world just by reading a book. Absolutely. And that's why reading is so much fun, because you can learn a lot from reading. So, Mrs. Newton-Bond, thank you so much for joining us this evening for Reading with the Superintendent. I hope our viewers enjoyed the reading as much as I've enjoyed reading with you. And tell Ace and Cross I said hello and give them a hug for me. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon for the next evening of Reading with the Superintendent. Thank you, Mrs. Newton-Bond. Have a good evening, everyone.
We just let the music come from the soul, so every single kid can stay on the floor. We got a brand new dance.